Welcome everybody, welcome back. So today we have another Installation00 video. This time, not necessarily a lore video. However, we have BS copyright claims you do deserve to know. As somebody that, in the content creation sphere, does have to deal with copyright, has been subject to certain copyrights and certain copyright companies, which shall remain nameless. This is an issue that I personally have dealt with, and personally, I would like to react in a way to signal boost this in the ways that I can, because copyright is a very serious issue on YouTube. While I personally don't have issues with a copyright policy, especially when it gets abused, that's when I personally take issue. However, let us get into this. Let's see Installation00's experience. Let's hear the experience and then go from there. Installation00 is a great content creator if you haven't seen them. Excellent Halo. What about the intro doesn't hype you up, right? What doesn't hype you up about that?
Hey everyone, welcome back to Installation00. There's no script for this video because I need to let you guys know what's going on behind the scenes. So many of you who will be familiar with like my Twitter page and things like that, and I think I've posted a few other places as well, will know that there's been some copyright claims on some music in some of my videos recently.
Yes, and I can actually attest to that. So his ARC video I actually saw as ARC most detailed breakdown. I do remember seeing the tweet about that in regards to things that were usable but should not have been causing a copyright claim. I do remember the tweets about this, and he does tweet about it. And honestly, good. Situations like this do need to get light. They do need to get traction. And, you know, if anything, the reason whenever I get, say, a copyright claim, or if I get a copyright takedown notice, right, I do post about it. Not because I'm necessarily trying to flame the company, because at that point, for my own personal records and for my protection, I am logging that in social public form. That way other creators and other people know what's going on and are aware of these trends.
Now, truth be told, quite a lot of them have been copyright claimed.
By who?
And the frustration is that the music that I use in my videos is the Halo soundtracks.
Right.
And they are covered by Microsoft's game content usage policy.
I will interject here one more time before I let him continue. On the VOD channel, my Halo 4 video, even though my VOD channel isn't monetized, just Halo 4 is copyright claimed. This is, from my own experience, I can confirm that, well, yes, it's the game. I personally have a video of just me playing the game with Revi Barra, and me playing through Halo 4. This was actually before I changed mics over, so it's a little rough on the audio. But, like, this tracks, I got copyrighted on that. It's different if, say, Final Fantasy Crisis Core, Square Enix copyrights it, or, say, Kingdom Hearts gets copyrighted, because, okay, I will have to concede those, right? I do have experience at this point, less than Installation00, but with copyrights coming from, you know, Halo.
Which means I'm allowed to use them in monetized videos here on YouTube. That enables me to create content, it enables me to make money, and provide more content for you guys because I get to do this full time. It works. It's a system that works. Problem is that the copyright system doesn't work.
No, it does not.
So even the 200,000 subscriber special, the ARC most detailed breakdown, was copyright struck.
And this is why I put the videos out, the shorts out that I did. Companies should have to respond. So say Installation00 is claimed, right? That claim, if Installation00 were to counterclaim that, so say Microsoft, say Microsoft was the one making the claim, right? Microsoft comes down and says, Installation00, you are using copyrighted content. We are going to claim this, and we will be taking the revenue from the video, right? And Installation00 could come back and go, whoa. This is under this game's licenses. I'm going to contest this. I'm going to send this. And he has to put his legal... I put my legal name. You have to, if you're signing that, I acknowledge that this is transformative, or this is XYZ. I'm going to send this back to review for the company. And it gets done from there. From there, at that point, what ends up happening is, in this situation with Installation00 and Microsoft, this hypothetical, right, is that Microsoft can either release that copyright, so then everything, everything's all good, monetized, Installation00 could get all the revenue from that. Or it can be upheld and they would still get the revenue, which at that point would be he'd have to, fully invest in fighting this, which if lost would result in a strike, a copyright strike. You get 3 within, I believe it's a 90-day period. You're banned from the platform. You cannot continue operations, which is why I take when companies will en masse go through some of my older videos and be, that's copyrighted, that's copyrighted, that's copyrighted, right? I'm not willing to fight it beyond a certain capacity because I don't have the base for that. This is not a system that is necessarily fair for creators. So, it gets, and a lot of people, they'll comment and they'll just say, well, I mean, if you take them, if you continue fighting it, you legal up, a lot of times they drop down. Yes, and from my understanding on the legal side of things, if you do try to dispute it at the strike stage, where if they come back, they either release it or give you the full strike, right? If they do that and they are found in the right, from my understanding, they have to take legal action on you because they are protecting their IP. I don't have the full legal understanding of this. A lawyer would be a better one to actually describe the situation. Understand that when we're dealing with copyright, a lot of the times it's not so simple as we're just going to fight this. We're going to do this. And the biggest thing why I say that companies should have 72 business hours is it should never take a company in this situation, theoretically, the theoretical situation of Halo, it should never take Microsoft 30 calendar days to come back to the Installation00 video, right? And, day 29, they're like, oh, well, we're going to release this, right? That is absolutely unacceptable. Any business that is going to care about their IP, which don't get me wrong, they're all using the copyright system, right? They should not be allowed to go over 72 hours. Can you imagine if the ARC video went to day 29 and it was still in this, claims limbo? How much revenue gets lost from that? How much marketing goes down the drain? That's my own personal point. I think companies should be incredibly restricted on that point to be able to only, to have to respond to it within 72 business hours, weekends, holidays, right? I'll give them that. But this process needs to be sped up. It's ridiculous, and we should expect better of these claimants as they are.
The use of Halo music by third-party companies that have no rights, no claim, no affiliation, and nothing to do with Microsoft, 343 Industries, Halo, or anything. Which is extraordinarily irritating because it means that they can swoop in, make the claim,
yes,
and if either you don't notice, or if you do notice but you contest it but they reject it, they just walk away with your money.
Yes. There is another option from the back end of this. There was a company, a South American TV company, that copyright claimed my Starfield review from IGN, and it took them like 10-ish days or so, I think. It was a little bit of time for, they letting that clock run down, and then they released the claim on it because they had no legal claim on it. If you scroll down to my community tab, you'll see the post about it as well as what company it is. Not my job to blame the company. I'm noting once again, this interaction is happening. Be aware of this. Go take this information, make whatever educated conclusions you can. There is a weird interaction where if a company claims something and you try to counterclaim it, not counter-strike it, right? Counterclaim it. It can go into escrow. So the money that was going to go to this South American TV corporation, it gets held in an escrow. All escrow is kind of just like this holding account, right? And then upon resolution of the claim, whether it's in your favor or in the claimant's favor, it would be then released to whichever party it is.
And that's a real big problem.
Yes.
The thing about being a YouTuber is, particularly at my size, I'm a 200,000 subscriber YouTube channel.
Yes. He is awesome. If you like Halo, please go check out. I am not affiliated with Installation00. I am not associated with Installation00. I was not paid to, do this. I was not told to do this. I was not asked to do this. This is me reacting to something that I consider a very impactful problem for YouTube content creators, especially, sub 1 million, right? You have the instance with what was it, the meat incident with the Five Nights at Freddy YouTube streamer the other day, and that was totally just swept under the rug by YouTube. I do feel you are afforded certain permissions if you are a larger creator, where smaller creators will suffer. And it's been so amazing to see Installation00 grow from sub 100,000. I absolutely love their content. They have just excellent stuff. I can't recommend them enough. And, hopefully one day I'm large enough to, be able to thank him for all the good work he's done on his videos. And there's a reason I actually don't react to more of it, is because I want to make sure that, while I can react to a thing here or there, his content is truly getting out there and the algorithm is taking full advantage of that. I don't feel that it would be necessarily proper to react to everything Installation00 did, just because, he is still growing. And growing at an just an awesome, exponential rate, which is awesome. I love to see it, and I do recommend you check out their channel.
That doesn't translate as meaning that I'm rolling in cash on a day-to-day basis. The big guys, the ones that have got millions of subscribers and upload a video a day,
that was the one.
they've got a lot of money. Plus, they've got all the sponsorship deals, and they've got loads of things happening externally that help fund, what they're doing. But I don't have that.
No.
I'm a 200,000 subscriber channel. The true reality is, I make just enough here on YouTube, just enough to pay my bills and have a little bit left over to spend on a few things I like. That's genuinely the reality of the YouTube platform. So when I generate content, and bear in mind, I generate 2, 3, maybe 4 videos a week.
He does a lot of work.
When I generate content, if it then gets copyright struck, something happens with that money. And basically what happens is somebody makes the claim, this third party makes this claim, that have no right to the music anyway. They make this claim. And the YouTube system cuts the money off.
Yes.
Straight away.
Immediately.
Then
there is no process. There is no gray area there. As soon as say, for example, if someone random, some random company or someone random trying to abuse the copyright system looks at this video and says, I'm claiming that, immediately my monetization gets cut. There is no process. There is nothing like that. There is no system. I have to, at that point, either cut my losses or begin the counterclaim process. And every single time I do a counterclaim, what I do, and this needs to be normalized, I need to see legal documentation, I need to see notarized documentation, I need to see trademarks, I need to see all of this documentation that you own this content. And I think that should be normalized. And honestly, I feel that every single time you go through that claims process or even the strikes process, that should be provided by the claimant. If the claimant cannot provide that, they should not be able to fulfill the steps. Well, Kip, that may be unrealistic. At this point, we are truly at a point in YouTube copyright where it is ridiculous. And I do apologize, Installation00 for the pause, champ. Sorry. No, it is at a point where it's ridiculous. And at that point, accountability needs to be held. If you are going to, and I'm not saying everyone abuses the claimant system, right? I will cite the infamous case where Nintendo copyright claimed a Nintendo video on another Nintendo channel. The fact that is even, and technically they don't get in trouble because if anything, it would be Nintendo having to sue Nintendo, which is, it's whatever, right? It just gets released and it's fine. The fact that that's even a possibility is awful. And that's just, higher end company, whatever. It hurts a lot of creativity and a lot of growth. I understand. Do not get me wrong. I understand that this is in place to prevent people from uploading the Lord of the Rings trilogy in 1080p to YouTube. I understand this is to... Hold up. Sorry about that, chat. I'm still getting used to the new model and the new setup, and I was getting really expressive to the point that I hit my keyboard. Sorry about that. No, it does come to a point where this is ultimately just ridiculous. And, it's having to take drastic steps, such as requesting, okay, if you want to do this, if you want to cut this monetization, I need to see some legal documentation, right? It's like, as I said, you can't upload the entirety of Lord of the Rings. You can't upload an entire song like, Green Day, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Right? You just can't upload that to YouTube without a company saying, well, no, you can't post the whole thing there. That's completely reasonable. It's when you have situations, creators like Angry Joe, that allegedly are getting demonetized and takedown notices on things that are less than 7 seconds, which is DMCA, is not 7 seconds. This is symptomatic of a larger issue that has been argued for years at this point now. And, if anything, a modernization of copyright law would help this. But we're looking at, legislation and thus getting into politics. And I don't really want to get into politics. At this point in time, what we can do with the current system is start holding these claimants accountable, demanding that, you know, even if you have to reach out to them directly, right, with their business line, if you have to reach out to start bugging YouTube at that point, I need legal documentation. I need notarized documentation. I need proof that you are the holder of this. I need proof that these are the things that you're claiming. If you're doing a 20-minute video and they claim 15 minutes of it, but only 7 minutes, you know, intermittently is what they own, they need to be claiming those 7 minutes exactly. They cannot claim that 15-minute block. I don't think that's fair. So, yeah, I have a lot of opinions on this.
Straight away. Then I have to dispute it.
Yes.
Now, if I dispute it, the money goes into a holding account.
Escrow.
If I don't dispute it, they just walk away with the money. But
yes.
if I notice and I contest it, it goes into a holding account. And for 30 days, it sits there while the other party, the third party, decides whether or not my dispute is valid or not.
Up to 30 days. I will off that correction.
And because they're doing this fraudulently, they know full well that the likelihood is I do have a valid claim. But the problem is that they can basically say, no, we still think we own this content.
Yeah.
They can reject my dispute, my dispute. And if that happens, they take the money.
Yes.
That's it.
For me, like as a content creator right now, who primarily is doing React content while I build up my backlog again, right, with, you know, new model things, right? It is less egregious because I can sit here for, say, a half hour, 40 minutes, and I can record a bit, right? And if that monetization gets cut, or say if the creator, you know, if Installation00 didn't want this up and absolutely wanted me to take this down, perfectly for that. You know, I do open creators if they don't want their content reacted to. I do open up that dialogue of, hey, you know, Installation00 in the hypothetical said, hey, I don't want this up on your channel. You know, can you take this down? You know, absolutely. I'm more than happy to oblige because you, at the end of the day, are the creator. You are creating this content. I am merely reacting to it. In that same vein, he is the one creating the content. How many hours? How many edits? As if he also employs editors and stuff like that, right? How much time and investment goes into just making a video like this, or Arc most detailed breakdown, or the Halo Rings most detailed breakdown, right? His videos are very good quality. And for all of that work in a Thanos snap just to be gone, it's devastating. Can you imagine if, say, Maxor posted a video and it had this same treatment, how many hours he spends into the video, only for a system like this to immediately say the day before posting, you know, oh, well, you can't post that. Well, you can post it, but it's not going to be monetized. We get all the money from that, right? And thus kicks off the counterclaim process, and it potentially going up to 30 days. And that's if they find the claim is not valid, because if they find the claim valid, the Maxor would have to, you know, do the anti, you know, he'd have to dispute it further. But at that point, he could accrue a strike at that point. You see how this is harming creators and really just benefiting nobodies.
I can go. There is another step above that.
It's risky.
There's one more step above that.
It's so risky.
That's basically where I appeal that decision.
Yes.
If I do that, I have to provide them with my personal information, my phone number, my address. I have to provide all the legal,
yes,
the legal evidence, so to speak, that I have the right to use this music.
Yeah. And
that then holds that money for a further 7 days. It's a massive invasion into my privacy because all that information, all the information that I provide, goes to these third parties.
So here's the thing that people won't think about as well. If I were to, because even in the claims process, when I do a counter claim, not to dispute the strike, right? This first claims process of up to 30 days, I have to provide my full legal name. They know who I am. They can Google, it's not necessarily Google, there's database that you can put like your name into, and they know everything about you. That's not to be like, oh, Skynet. That's not to be any sort of like, you know, that's how background checks work. That's how the internet works for, you know, big companies and people that know how to code, right? Is that they're going to be able to find all this information just easily. And so say, for example, if I have a company that is just really ticked off, like they have a just sting in their bum that day, bee in their bonnet, they are just not happy. Now they can start claiming more of my videos. Now you can have this company that says, well, you know, we don't like that you're doing this content. We're going to start claiming these 4 videos. Oh, well, you want to fight those? Well, I mean, clearly we have this. You know, we're just going to use our connections, or we're just going to provide this legal documentation with this overarching claim that they did, you know. It's not outside the question that suddenly I have 4, 5, 6 strikes, right? It's incredibly one-sided, and that is why I do support they need to provide information now. We as creators need to see. We need to see the legal documentation. We need to see them get notarized documents. We need to see who owns this, right? Right? And then the system becomes a little more fair.
Goes to these companies. So there's these unknown third-party companies that no one's ever heard of all across the world that know who I am,
yes,
where I live,
yep,
my phone number. They know all of the intimate details of my life simply because they've claimed fraudulently content on my YouTube channel.
Yep. And they could sell that data. Even if it, and so here's the thing, even if say it is fraudulent, right? Say it's not Microsoft, say it is this third party, right? In this example, now they can just sell that data. Now they have your phone number, they have your address, they have, probably where you bank, they have the area where you live, obviously. Any family members you're potentially related to, just because they can do a name search or at least an information search, right? Now they can sell that information. And now suddenly you could theoretically be getting a call from a bank halfway across the U.S. You get a letter from them. You get, from little hypothetical random name, right? Like Little Caesar Credit Union or something like that. Hey, here's your overdraft protection notice, and you call them like, what the hell's going on? Oh, well, there was an account fraudulently opened in your name. You see how this can snowball really fast, and at that point, I do feel that YouTube should be held liable in that case. Not that I'm a lawyer. Once again, I would love a lawyer to go over copyright in more detail. There should be a liability to that if information is sold under fraudulent claims. I think at the very least, that's incredibly fair.
I can kind of stomach that. I can hold my own. I can deal with any BS that comes my way. In
Scam calls.
The problem I have is that causes a financial issue for me.
Yes.
Now, like I said, I'm not rolling in cash. I don't have millions of subscribers.
No.
I've got 200,000 awesome people.
One day you'll have.
Fantastic. YouTube is one of the greatest gifts I've been given, but it's by no means easy.
No.
It's by no means a walk in the park, and I'm by no means rolling in cash. The reality of the situation, like I clearly outlined a minute ago, I have just about enough from YouTube to meet my bills with a little bit left over to spend on things I like. That's it. So when these fraudulent companies come forward and claim my content, claim music that is covered by Microsoft's game content usage policy that I have the right to use, at least as far as that policy is concerned, until such time as Microsoft revoke it, which I don't think they're going to, they then draw that money out of me. They pull that money away. If I don't notice it, as many of my really older videos get that claim.
Yeah.
And you just don't notice because they're not on the sort of top 30 videos that you've recently uploaded on the dashboard on YouTube.
Yeah.
That money just disappears. That goes to them.
My creator studio is a mess with over 600 videos. A creator's dashboard gets really messy with multiple uploads.
Bearing in mind those videos still get views.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
That just disappears and goes to them.
Yep.
If I do notice and I contest it, sometimes it's released and it comes straight back to me, and then the money hits the account. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they say no, we still claim this content, and then it just goes away. It's theirs. Then I can escalate it. If I want the fight and want to share my personal details, I can escalate it.
Right.
So this is the situation. So I've outlined this situation that I'm in as a content creator, and that I'm not alone in this. There are tons of even some of the other Halo YouTubers are in this same boat. So the problem I've got now is that it's becoming increasingly more difficult to be a content creator here on YouTube.
Yes.
To a point that I'm now genuinely considering whether or not this is actually going to be able to pay me how much I need to survive, to pay my bills each month.
I've had similar considerations. I've honestly had similar considerations. I do this because I absolutely love doing it. Don't get me wrong. It is getting more and more difficult to just be financially stable. And don't get me wrong, that is I get it. I am in a very competitive industry in terms of YouTube. If you watch my stuff, thank you so much. Don't ever feel obligated that I need to watch Kip so he can, make money, or I need to watch Kip. So if you want to watch something, watch something. If you want to go and, watch another creator, absolutely go watch another creator. Your time is invaluable. And there's not enough of it as is. There's not enough time anymore for everybody. You know, this is considerations that a lot of us are making. Is this going to be even viable? Because yes, you have the big names. However, it is getting harder and harder, especially as, grassroots creators, smaller creators that are just getting choked out by a system that just doesn't feel like it cares.
Month. Because the thing is, like, even if that money is held for the 30 days, and then I dispute their decision and it's held for a further 7 days, that money is then delayed from this month until well into next month. Depending on where it falls, it could be 2 months down the line that I get that money paid out, depending on if it overlaps the days that YouTube and Google kind of make the calculation on how much you've earned this month and pay out. So it could be 2 months down the line. That means for 2 months, I don't have enough money to pay my bills. That's not a good situation. Now, don't get me wrong, if push comes to shove, I will march back out into the world and I'll get whatever job falls into my lap, because I've got a family to look after. I've got a family to provide for. I'll work at McDonald's. I'll clean the streets. I don't give a shit. Yeah. I'll do whatever I need to do to make sure that my family survive and my family have got everything that they need.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have to do that. And I'm angry at the situation that I'm having to consider doing that. That the system is broken in that way. And bear in mind, I've reached out to YouTube. I've reached out to the community managers. I've done the whole 9 yards, and I'm not alone. Loads of other content creators have done the same thing, and nothing is changing.
Nothing. Meanwhile, as I'm bringing up, we have the iShowMeat situation where the top YouTube streamer, iShowSpeed, exposed himself to many people on stream. And YouTube said that they will not enact any sort of, as far as I'm aware, any sort of punishment. There's not going to be any sort of strike or anything like that. That is the platform that we're on. If you're thinking about YouTube and content creation, that's not me saying don't do it. Understand that there is a lot going on. And understand that it is hard. It is a lot of work. And it's so easy for someone just to take everything. Just understand that going in.
The system is heavily rigged towards these third-party companies, towards companies that have nothing to do with any of the content, but can just step in and snatch away a content creator's money. It's unacceptable.
Yes.
So I now find myself in this ridiculous situation where I then have to sit here and ask you guys for help. It's becoming increasingly evident that if you watch the channel, you enjoy the content, the ads pop up, they disappear, blah, 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 blah. That money is becoming increasingly more often paid to people outside of the channel. It's not coming to me.
Which is ridiculous.
And that's not right. Because you guys watch my channel for my content, and as a reciprocal, as a kind of reciprocal relationship that we both have, you watch the content, the ads pop up, you watch them, you skip them, whatever the case may be, but in either case that generates revenue, that generates ad revenue, that pays to me, that enables me to do this full time so I can make more content for you. It's a reciprocal relationship. But it's becoming more difficult for that reciprocal relationship to flourish because of these third-party companies. So I'm now in the awful situation to basically say this. There's a tier on my YouTube membership for $1 a month. There's also a tier on my Patreon for $1 a month. One of them's on YouTube, it's called Keep the Lights On. On Patreon, it's called Constructor. Little Constructor Sentinels.
I love it. It's so good.
If you are able to, and only if you're able to, if this is going to be a problem, don't do it. But if you are able to, please consider becoming a YouTube member, because the money paid through YouTube membership goes straight to the content creator. It just circumnavigates the copyright system completely. Or head over to Patreon and become a constructor over there. That will keep the lights on. It will absolutely guarantee that I can keep doing this, because I'm genuinely looking at a situation right now where I'm not entirely sure that I will be able to keep doing this into the future. I may have to go out and get a job again. I may have to abandon YouTube entirely, and I don't want to do that because that's not fair on you. It's not fair on me. I just wanted to lay this out was a bit ranty. It was, you know, it's a bit fast and loose because I've not got a script. I just wanted to add verbatim. I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on behind the scenes. You have the right to that dignity. You have the right to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And the reality is things aren't going well because of this system. And these are the only ways I can think of where you can help keep this channel alive. And don't get me wrong, just you subscribing is already, you've breathed life into a channel that wouldn't have existed otherwise. And I hate having to ask because it feels like I'm asking too much of you. I feel like I'm asking beyond what your responsibility is, and it's not a nice feeling as a content creator to be sat here basically having my cap in my hand saying, "Please, sir, can I have some more?"
I get that.
I'm just angry at the situation. It's the only situation it's the only thing I can think of to help offset that problem until it either goes away entirely, YouTube makes some changes if they're going to do that, or
I unfortunately empathize with that sentiment. I'm letting him speak because this is a very important. I know I'm a little more transformative intermittently. I'm just making sure to give him the floor.
It no longer matters. I don't know. It's shit.
It is.
I love this channel. I love you guys. I love the community. I love everything about this, and I love doing this on a day-to-day basis because it's where I shine, and it's where you guys enjoy what I can do the best. It makes sense for me to be able to keep doing this. But these little problems that keep cropping up, keep snatching away money, and keep making things difficult. Money talks, I'm afraid. At the end of the day, money. I'd love to be in a situation where money isn't an issue.
Yes, a lot of us would.
That's not where I am. This is the reality of my situation. And
I get it.
Yeah. Rest assured, I'll keep doing this as long as I can. I've got so much more I want to do. There's so much I want to give you guys. There's so much I want to do. So much I need to do. It's a responsibility almost. But if you guys can help, and only if you can help, please don't do it. But if you're struggling yourself, look after yourselves first. That's the most important thing. I
want to notate, because this is important to me at the very least. What other creators do this? What other creators? Because, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the only one. What other creators actively understand how tight finances can be for people? What is Installation00 been saying for about the past 2 minutes, right? You know, hey, you know, I would like it if you could support. However, if you don't have the means to, if you're struggling yourself, if you don't have the finances to, don't feel obligated to. What other creators do that? At the end of the day, how many videos and creators can I scroll upon, right? And I come across that, you know, they're going to, plug, hey, make sure you join this nation over at here, this, and subscribe to this tier for this dollar, this amount a month, right? What other creator, and yes, I know there's some, I'm pointing out, is he's being genuine. He understands. He gets it. It's hard to ask for help. It really is, especially in a situation in YouTube, right, where it's very toxic at these levels of content creation, and there's no protections afforded, and it feels like that YouTube just straight up abandons us. He's not the only one having to talk to YouTube. He's not the only one having to talk to, the YouTube community members and leads, right? This has been years of this. So this isn't something brand new. This is a problem, and it's a continuing problem, and it should be addressed. It should be fixed. There is no reason that this needs to... Well, what about the manpower? What about the... Well, I mean, clearly you just create new jobs, right? Is that not people's bottom line right now? People are looking for work, right? I feel I have to wean myself back a little bit because that could get political and get me a little hot water. However, he's clearly being genuine. I don't see that a whole hell of a lot. And it's creators like this. I have no affiliation to. They don't know me. I know them because I watch their content, right? But they don't know me. I'm just some random, right? honestly, this video might get 200 views. But you know what? That's 200 more potential eyes on this that Installation00 might not have had. Because there are people that come in every day and, they discover me and, oh, hey, you watch this thing. And they, I've had people discover as big as they are, Badger, Martin Cedar Pants, Maxor. They've come to me for maybe like a fat electrician video and found Badger and found Martin Cedar Pants, right? Just because someone is big or a household name, I would consider Installation00 the household name in terms of Halo content, in my personal opinion. That's subjective. Take that as you will, right? And, even if it just gets 200 views, it's 200 views that he didn't have. And you know what? Even furthermore, I'm not going to turn monetization on this video because I feel that strongly about it. If I want to put my money where my mouth is, yeah, this video won't be monetized. Because you know what? I want to draw attention to a creator struggling with a similar problem, if not worse than what I'm currently experiencing on the platform. And that's how we make it through this, is helping each other, calling out problematic behaviors and growing together, building those bonds, building those relationships, right? Not that I'm expecting Installation00 to reach out. If anything, I'm, a little worried that I promise this isn't going to be monetized. Like this is strictly just for conversation piece and to draw attention to the issue. I React content gets in weird territory. But that's how we grow together. That's where my sentiment kind of lies on that.
I hate having it asked because the words just feel sour in my mouth. It's just, yeah. Right, I've ranted enough. So sorry for the nature of this video. Just
no, it's fluent.
I've ranted enough. I'm sorry.
It was a good rant. You needed
Take
it.
these, everyone, and find peace in the domain.
You as well. I get it. It's not an easy issue, and it doesn't have an easy fix. And there's only so much that small creators can do. Big creators also need to be hopping in on this. And a lot of them do, don't get me wrong. It's rough. And it can be better. And it'll get better. We have to think that way. So, much respect to Installation00 for putting out this video. It is not an easy topic to talk about. It is rough to talk about, and it's also hard to ask for help. And while, I feel that there's this stigma that, oh, well, you're a creator, you shouldn't have to want financial incentive for this. You shouldn't have to, want to do this just for money or do something just for the clicks and the metrics. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that, yeah, we're passionate about what we do. And Installation00 is clearly passionate about what he does. And I have immense respect for him for it. There is that financial incentive that if we can't eat or provide for a family, we can't continue doing what we love. So, and the fact that he is genuine about, I would appreciate your help. However, if you don't have the means to, don't. He gets it. And I think that's why I like him, because he's not only relatable and personable, but he's genuine. And I have immense respect for Installation00. So if you made it to the end, thank you so much. And, not that Installation00 will ever see this. I'm hoping that, from the shadows, I can work a little bit, and draw more eyes that maybe didn't know about Installation00 to Installation00's content, and, potentially be some of the small stones that start the avalanche of change actually being enacted. So thank you, Installation00. I'm sorry that you're going through that, and you have my respect. You have my continued support. You absolute legend, and I definitely recommend people go and check him out.